How many times have you heard, we can have it all? Well, I've got news for you. You can't have it all. I can't have it all. We truly do have to make choices about what we're going to take with us as we step into our dream. My name is Felicia Searcy, your Dream Life Activator. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. And in this live, we're going to dig in and we're going to debunk the myth, if I'm saying that correctly, that we really can have it all, because we can't. We can't have it all. I don't wish it was a different way. That's just the way it is. So let's dig into this. And if you're liking this, well, first of all, please share where you're coming in from, whether you're watching live or the replay, and where you're watching from. And if you want more of how to let go what's no longer serving you in order to truly step into this amazing, bold, dynamic dream that life is bringing to you, put elevate in the comment section and I'll share with you information about how we can keep this going. All right, so let's get into this. We've all heard it. We can have it all. There's book titles that say we can have it all. We've been taught that as we manifest and as we become bigger, bolder dreamers and manifestors, absolutely we can have it all. And the reality is we can't. Let me share with you what I mean by that. So what we're going to dig into today is actually a law, that there is actually a law called the law of sacrifice. And that when we are building out a more expansive life for ourselves, when we're living into the most powerful question that you can ask, which is, what would I love? You have things in your current life that are just not going to be a match for that. There are things that just can't come with you. And so those are things that you are going to have to set aside, or you don't have to, in order to come into the vibrational alignment, in order to be a match for your dream, in order to be a match for your desire. There are things that we are going to have to leave behind. Let me give you some examples. If you have a deep desire to start or even grow and build a business, one of the things that you're going to have to let go of is the need for ongoing security. That oftentimes people will come to me and they have an idea and this desire and this dream knocking at the door of their heart. It's like, oh my gosh, I have such a big purpose. I know I'm meant for so much more. And I want to build a business with it. Now, I don't necessarily get into business strategy. What I do is help them line up energetically. And when we talk about really going forward with this, oftentimes there's that voice, that fear that starts piping up saying, yeah, but if you do that, look at what you're going to have to give up. And oftentimes it's the security of a paycheck. It's the security of benefits. It's the assurance that, things are being taken care of. And, it's the awareness that there's somebody else in charge, right? That there's somebody else who's making the decisions. And when you step in, as I've stepped in, entrepreneurs, when you step in to build a business, you're sacrificing that secure paycheck. You're sacrificing those benefits that come from somebody else. You're sacrificing not being the person who's 100% in charge, that in fact the buck stops with you. Now, here's the thing that's wonderful about that whatever the example is, right, that remember, come back to what I share with you on a consistent basis, that the origin of your dream is this life force energy, that there's a divine energy seeking to express in bigger, bolder, more dynamic ways. And it chose you in the form of this dream. And so there's a part of you that gets afraid. There's a part of you that says, oh my gosh, I don't want to give that up. And when you understand that the dream is here to help you discover more of who you are created to be, then you realize that what appears to be a sacrifice is actually the gift that comes from stepping into your dream. Because as you own that dream and see that dream and live into that dream, and you begin to let go of those things that have served you, the security of a paycheck, the benefits, the realizing that, you're not the one ultimately in charge. And there's that desire that's bubbling up. Those fears actually become the transformative process. Those things that you feel like you have to give up, those things that feel like you're sacrificing, actually become the clearing out, the letting go of what is no longer serving you, for you to step into a more dynamic version of you, to discover gifts and capabilities and a deeper sense of communion and connection with this life force energy, which is your source. And so you realize, wow, I'm willing to sacrifice security for expansiveness. I'm willing to sacrifice benefits for the benefit of living a life that I love. I'm willing to sacrifice letting somebody else be in charge of allowing me to determine my own direction, my own fate. And you realize, wow, it really isn't a sacrifice. It's a stepping into something greater. In the words of Jim Collins, we let go of the good in order to allow the greater. So when you bring to mind your vision, what is it that your vision? So right now, bring to mind a specific scenario in your vision. What is your vision asking you to let go of in order to make room for something greater? Let me give you another example. I had a client, beautiful, beautiful client. She was with me for several years, who was at odds with her kids, that her, for whatever the reason, and who knows, right? Her kids were not speaking to her. That was heartbreaking enough. The real heartbreaker was the fact that she didn't have access to her grandkids. I've actually had several clients in this particular situation. And this particular client, before we started working together, it was so painful not to have a connection with her kids and her grandkids. I mean, she was just, heartbroken that she was missing out on their growing up experience. And she would let anybody and everybody know that she came into contact what a really horrible situation this was. And I don't think she was so much bad mouthing her kids. And when she talked about it, though, she talked about it from a place of pain and deprivation, and it's never going to change. So when she stepped into this work and she began to allow herself to envision a different possibility, what if she really could change it? One of the things that she realized fairly quickly as she played in the realm of her imagination with that dream, with that desire, one of the things that she realized when she thought about the person living the dream, and this is the foundational piece to this, that when she saw herself living that life and she thought about the person who lives that life, she realized that person is not broadcasting the pain of this. Now, I'm not saying that you deny your feelings, and you want to be mindful about how you're holding it, whatever the situation is, how you're talking about it. And she realized that the woman who had amazing relationships with her kids and her grandkids, that woman is not in these ongoing conversations about how deprived she is and how painful it is and how it's never going to change. Now, part of her got a little bit of a charge out of sharing that with people. A part of her got a charge out of people saying, oh my gosh, that just must be awful. And she realized in this law of sacrifice, she was going to have to give up that affirmation she was getting from people because of the painful situation. And she was going to have to start talking about it differently. And so in her mind, she saw her living this life of having an amazing relationship with her kids and her grandkids. And she asked the woman who's having that life, how does that woman talk about this situation? How does that woman communicate about her kids and her grandkids? How does that woman engage with this dynamic the way it is now, as if it is changed? And so she gave up talking about it from a place of, oh, please look at my situation and have compassion for me. She started talking about her kids as if they had beautiful relationships. She started talking about what she was proud about her kids and the things that she appreciated about her kids. She started talking about the things that she did know about her grandkids and what she loved and appreciated about her grandkids. And she also started writing these things and writing letters to her kids and her grandkids. She changed the conversation. She gave up the need for attention for the pain in her conversations. She sacrificed that and started having empowered conversations before a single thing in her world changed. And as a result of being willing to give that up and be the woman who had beautiful relationships before anything in her world would suggest that, as she did that, she changed. Remember, we can't get to our dream. We have to come from it. We act as if it's already here, not as if, because it is. We act as the person for whom this already is, which means there are certain qualities and characteristics and ways of being that cannot come with us. And for her, she couldn't hold on to the hurt and transform the relationships with her kids. So she was willing to sacrifice that. She had to work at it because it was a well-worn pattern of reaching back for that hurt and sharing that hurt. And she had to keep digging in and noticing what she was noticing. And in the moment, when she wanted to draw somebody into that pain, saying, nope, I'm letting that go. I'm sacrificing that for a greater experience in this moment as I talk about my kids with love and appreciation. And doing that over and over and over, the repetition of that recalibrated her to be that woman who could allow that level of love into her life, and her world changed. And now I still, it's been a couple of years, but several years in a row, I got these beautiful Christmas cards with pictures of her and all of her grandkids with just this smile on her face. And when I asked her if it was worth giving up those conversations, she was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't ask for anything better. So when you think about it, what is your dream asking you to give up? What is your dream asking you to sacrifice? We can't think thoughts of scarcity and see and be how things are being withheld from us and experience abundance. You can't stay angry and resentful and experience love. You can't have safety and experience expansiveness, that you can't make decisions based on trying to keep everything the same and experience expansiveness. Our dream is asking us to step into a higher calibrated, version of ourselves, which means we let go of what is no longer serving us. And you don't have to go digging for it. Your dream will reveal it as you step into being the version of the person who's living that life now. Then there's nothing for you to go digging for. Your dream will reveal it. Stepping in and being that person is going to reveal what are you being asked to let go of, and then what are you being asked to claim? Because we always have to replace it. What are you being asked to replace it with? So who and what is your dream asking you to let go of? Who is your dream asking you to become, inviting you to let go of a different version of yourself? All right, so that I'm going to encourage you to play with this week. If you want to go deeper into this topic, I have started. We've done 1 week, and so we have 3 weeks to go, and you have all the recordings. I have started a 4-week course, deep dive, right here at the halfway mark of the year, to really step aside a bit during your week to really, number one, celebrate your growth for the first half of the year. Let's really reflect on where you are, and let's elevate. Let's really elevate the vision that's seeking you. And then, most importantly, elevate the image, the identity of you that can then live in that life. If you want information on this 4-week powerful course, put elevate in the comment section and I will make sure I get that to you. All right. So my name is Felicia Searcy. Know how much I so deeply love and appreciate you. You are amazing. I look forward to your comments in the comment section. And again, elevate in the comment section if you want more information on this 4-week course. All right. I absolutely love and adore you. Mwah. God bless.